Yeah, baby, are you here? It's the Koopa. Welcome to another one. Another one where we run them up and love them up and cut them up, like they should be, like the best of them. This is the last death quest that we're doing, and I'm going to talk about the craziest thing that's dying in Western society. And doing that will become master. Well, we already are master death masters. You know, we know all the skills. We know all the things to do. We're just gonna take down this horrible death government. I mean, necromancer, necromancy leader. He's got his army of simps. I mean, army of the dead. And that's a little bit spoilers for I guess what we're talking about today. You know, all these wrong acclamations I'm making, but essentially we got a big boss to fight. Nilim's gonna meet us there with her new outfit, looking all wonderful, cuteness overload. And hope you guys enjoy. Hope you're having a good week every day I upload this on. Go ahead and do the likes, the subs, all that good stuff. And let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and yap a little bit. You know, let's have a fun little yappy dappy morning, huh? Or night, or wherever it is. It's 7:42 for me. I usually like to record these in the mornings when the house is empty, the place is quiet, everybody's at peace. You know, it sort of feels good to wake up and immediately do this. It also stops me from waking up and doing other debaucherously elegant things that I probably shouldn't be doing live. But anyways, moving on. Guys, there is a large, widespread death going on in the Western populace, probably even in the Eastern populace as well. I don't know what's going on in Japan, my second most popular audience area, obviously, because, you know, Japanese game and all. But in the West, my God, is there a huge endangered species of critical thinkers. So guys, there was a poisoning in the well in our school systems when we thought lead was great, and I love how that was in the fucking news cycle for maybe like a fucking week or something. They were like, oh yeah, it's all out, it's all gone. Don't worry about it, idiots. When in reality, this is like this is like when we discovered that cigarettes were bad kind of style shit. Like the huge lie that had been fed to us was just kind of swept under the rug. And of course, back in the day, I wasn't really too concerned about this. But nowadays, where we have things like the Epstein's conspiracy going on and shit, and you know the Visa and MasterCard are trying to shut all sales of quote unquote harmful material down. You know what I'm saying? It harms the brand, so we can't sell it. I'm like, but how do you dictate what harms the brand, huh? Interesting. So the thing is, when you have the power, when you have the influence, there's really no need to tell the truth. There's really no need to tell the truth, and most people aren't going to latch on to that. Most people are just going to latch on to, get this is going to be crazy. Most people are just going to latch on to the opinion with the most views. Whatever everybody else is thinking and talking about. And guys, I implore you to step out of this box just a little bit. I know how much you want to be seen, to be noticed, to be liked. I'll tell you, man, when you get all that stuff, you're not going to want it. You're not going to want it because the only people that are seen and loved or liked are obviously exiled because of their differences, their opinions, and their reasonings. So having everybody stare at you is not really what you want, but at the same time, you don't just want to fall in line and become an autonomous robot. There is a middle ground for every human being, I feel. And they're not teaching us that. They're teaching us to go to one extreme. And don't worry about anything, because Mr. Daddy government FBI agent is going to help you out with all that bullshit. No worries, Trump says we're not even going to have to vote anymore. You know what I'm saying? And people, I know how much we love to not think. I love to not think. That's why I play this fucking video game. You know, this is the easiest fucking MMO I've probably ever played in my life. I hardly have to hold the controller. I can play it with one hand. Hey, look, the characters are attractive, but I try to control myself most of the time. Like maybe 30% of the time. Anyways, the thing about life is if we aren't fed these stimuli that lead us into the instant gratification route, you follow this opinion route, don't think about anything. If we aren't fed that, we will naturally work, you know, and not be so greedy and salivating for a reward. Because that's what games like this do. That's what things like YouTube do. That's what things like, you know, social media and all this bullshit do. They just train us to not wait for those answers, to take the first thing we get at face value as the gratification. And in reality, that's not how any problems work in life. You don't just get a solution and then you put the solution in and then you're done. That's not how it works. For like I say, a good 90% of things, anybody who critically thinks, any engineer, any scientist, you know, any doctor, anybody with a profession that you have to build things in, you know that when you come across a problem, you think of maybe 2 to 3 ways to solve it, and then you take action on one, and when that doesn't solve it completely the way you want it to, you then consider the other 2 and how they would implement with this one. You know, and there's a whole process to how you could do that, how you could alter these or whatever. But you know, in the news cycle, for the one thing that we should probably do this the most, motherfuckers do not do that. They take they don't even read it. They just take the headline. And that's what we're running with. That's the solution. That's the fucking all-encompassing. That's all I need about this story. And now I'm going to go and spread it to other people and have them be just as fucking angry at me. You know, because we are inherently storytellers. That's how we connect with other people. And nowadays I'm noticing people only know how to tell self-serving stories. People don't like to deal with the facts. And of course, that is what life is. It is a self-serving prophecy. You're not living in anyone else's shoes, obviously. But because of these self-serving stories and because of us automatically believing the narrative, other people sometimes believe they are born in the wrong body. And of course, this is a health thing. This is a mental health crisis. You know, I'd say a lot of things nowadays have become mental health crises because we've manufactured the way to get there. You know, it's kind of like communism in China. You know, China's doing really well right now. And they've brought so many people out of poverty and all this bullshit. But you know, they perpetuated that problem, right? Like, you do realize that they were the ones who put everybody in poverty. So, the thing is, guys, of course, we've invented these wonderful things like sex change operations back in, like, the 70s and shit. But, you know, there were people before who just cross-dressed and were gay. And that was fine. But now we have this permanent thing that we are not only saying it's okay, but it's a new fancy schmancy technology. So now we're pushing everybody to do it. Get on HRT. Get them fucking genes switched, motherfucker. And of course, get them gene switched, motherfucker, if you need to, if you want to, if you have anxiety or feel like you are in the wrong body. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm saying find solutions the right way. Actually come to them instead of letting them smack you in the face. Like, nobody wants to walk these paths because it feels like they've been treaded so many times before, and when we've done this and blah blah blah, we know the whole spiel or whatever. But the thing is, you don't. You fucking don't. You got a Cliff Notes, you got a Spark Notes, you got a summarized 3-minute YouTube video of this guy's 20-year experience. And that is not literally what critical thinking is. You have to move through these problems, and the problem is nowadays we're just giving the shortcuts. We're not really given the truly natural process of what it is. And I'd say this probably wouldn't be a problem if we didn't have the combination of all of it, you know? The lead crisis making us all dumber, the school systems making us all dumber, and then everything telling us you don't need to be smart. And that's true. You don't need to be smart. You just need to think. You just have to try to become more smart. And I think the fact that hope is gone has led us to all believe that, trying to be smart, much like hope, is cope. It's just cope. Sad but true. Sad but true. I don't think it's cope. I do think, though, the reality of becoming smart is that you will be alone or introverted or misunderstood or just generally disgusted with most society. Yes, that is where it will lead you. Because a lot of society is not there, don't desire to be there, don't want to go there. Have no requirements to get there. Nobody's forcing them to do this. And nobody will force you to do this. And as a matter of fact, I'm just going to tell you, if you decide to go down the thinking route, down the pondering route, down the perspective altering route, and actively learning about, other people and things in your community and stuff, the empathy can get to you and corrupt you, and then you become a toxic lefty. So there's really no good way to go about this. You really have to form your own opinion, and sometimes what you're doing right now is exactly what you should be doing. Strangely enough, you can go down this whole journey and be like, well, I'm going to go back to square one because that was all fucking stupid. And there's nothing wrong with that. People all say that's like some kind of failure. No. And that's another thing we need to stop doing with like the deaths of people or relationships, or when you just don't stop talking to someone or whatever. Honestly, guys, there are no fumbles in life. There are just moments, there are just people, there are just soulmates who change you, and then you move on. Okay? Can we just get used to that? Can we normalize, slowly drifting apart from people who no longer serve us? Because the thing is, guys, the holding on and attaching to these relationships that really aren't, conducive of your current character, I feel like are really destroying society. Essentially, this is how we get so many marriages that end up having kids, and then, these are just two wounded childs interacting with each other with a bunch of shitty people in their friend group, and then the kids turn out to be some horrible troglodyte people that commit hundreds and hundreds of crimes, and they're like, I don't know what happened, it must have been the TikTok. There's becoming an all-encompassing, like, sort of just era of irresponsible parents. And I think that's because we went too fast. We saw that dick and we're like, holy shit, shove that in the vagina. Get that in the booty hole. Go immediately. And don't stop until you come. And that's how technology came in, about 2000s, 2005, right? 90s, we already saw it coming. But 2005 to like 2015 was a crazy year for technological advancement. And you know what also advanced in that time? Because technology was advancing. We were seeing a bunch of women come into college. And now all of those women in college, they wanted them in the tech industry. But guess what? Girls hate math. So guess what jobs they have in the tech industry? That's right, motherfucker, middle management. That's right, motherfucker, customer service. That's right, motherfucker, HR. That's right, motherfucker, DEI. The girls are here to police us, thought police us. Let us know that all the bullshit we've been doing in the social climate is bad and harmful. To who? To other women. Guys, we really don't care. We really don't. Really don't. They could start murdering people and calling everybody niggers, and I don't give a fuck, I am honestly surprised that there aren't more mass lynchings. That's what really confuses me about this whole racism thing. It's like, you can't be racist to white people. So many horrible things happen to black people. But then, when horrible things happen to white people and they get beaten up by a bunch of black guys, we're supposed to be like, oh, yeah, these were just random thugs, and we're not going to talk about the races of these guys. It's just a mistake. It's just, he punched the girl in the face, but he really didn't mean to. It was like a bitch slap. You know what I'm saying? Her eyes were still open, and she was just don't worry about that. You can't be racist for these guys. They were like, they're so disenfranchised, guys. Their life is so hard. I really don't think there's that much racism nowadays. I really think we perpetuate it. We perpetuate it. And America definitely doesn't want racism to die, because if they did, then they just treat black people like normal people and not like they're doubly class citizens, quote unquote. When you're really not even saying that, it's still being racist. It's still being incredibly racist. And the people that have this in their souls that can't really connect with a black person, now they're even more confused. Now they're even more unable to connect with black people because they don't understand this shit. I'm black and I can't even connect with black people because of the shit I see online. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. And it doesn't even make sense, because it's like, are we really 13% when like half the news y'all spread is about us? It's like, what is going on? I don't think we are that, I don't know, popular or inconspicuous or whatever. Maybe it's just because, the bias of, you're always thinking about black people, so you always got to talk about them or something. Like, I don't understand necessarily, but I do want to get it. I do want to have that understanding. And I'm not going to lie like, oh yeah, all of you are disgusting and ugly people. I'm like, no, I think white people are very beautiful, very, very awesome. I've met a lot of awesome ones in my life, but I can also switch my perspective and say that many, many, many white people have probably not met a very awesome black person in their lives, because I've met a lot of terrible black people. I've met a lot of okay black people. I've met a lot of weird and confused black people, but a lot of great ones? No. And it may just be because I inherently see flaws. But I just think personally, it's because I inherently see more white people. So of course I'm going to see more good white people than good black people. Like, is that not obvious? Are we speaking crazy talk here with statistics? And it's not even like I'm saying no black person is good. Certainly not me. I'm not even pointing at myself. I am fucking terrible. As a person, as a human being, as a creator, as most things. That's why I don't want to be here. But in general, I think, we all have these flaws. It's just most people really see the flaws of, the darker race more clearly, more definitely, more defined. And that's just a preference thing from what you have seen before and on media, because they're not going to tell you, oh, this black person helped this guy who was dying under his car. They're not going to tell you that. Why would they? Kind of unnecessary information. Because there's always an agenda to push, and there's always something to influence, and it's not just about being all racist and fighting white people. You guys realize that people at the top just want us fighting in general. It doesn't matter who you're fighting, Fight women, fight Democrats, fight black people, fight Asians. I don't care. The government doesn't care. As long as you're fighting each other and not fighting us, we're happy. We are A-okay. And I'm not doing this to radicalize you guys. I always like to say that, but I've been radicalized for a long time, and not in the fuck the government way, in the fuck the everything way. This entire society is fundamentally broken. We're supposed to be free, but nobody chooses freedom. Because to choose freedom, you have to be a slave. And everyone thinks, oh, slavery bad, slavery bad. We don't want to be slaves. And to truly make it out of the rat hole, you have to be obsessed. And not care about anything else. And everybody's like, caring is good. You must care about your fellow man and your fellow person, and that's how you bring love into the world. But there are steps, there are levels, there are layers to this fucking onion, and until you have the agency to care about yourself and take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to actually provide anything good for these people that you quote unquote care about, that you're doing all this stuff for, that you're working this job for. You're not going to be able to actually help them in a way that matters, that lasts, that positively impacts them for the next 5 to 10 years. Because sure, it's super fun to go to a party and have all the fucking fun times with these quote-unquote friends you have, but, yeah, man. The useless fun that we have, it has its purpose. it has its definite purpose, but I feel like I've just exasperated on that in life, you know? I honestly wish I was way back in like the 1800s when we all lived until like 30 years old. That would be fucking fantastic. 'Cause I'm about 30 right now, and I'm good. I'm good. Unless the next half of my life drastically changes, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need any more of this shit. I really don't. And luckily that's leading me to do the opposite of crash out. I don't even know if it's the opposite of crash out. I don't even know if crash out has an antithesis, or if you're just supposed to sustain. But yeah, that is what I'm doing. I'm just sustaining. You know, I'm working out every day. I'm trying to slowly eat healthier. I'm trying to shave off bad habits. I believe I do be smoking, but my actual medical card is going to expire a couple days from now. So I don't even know. I don't even know I'm going to renew that. I really don't. It's up in the air at this point. But it's a slow process, and if we don't mix in this useless fun with things that are actually going to help us and our next generation build something worthwhile, it's just gonna end up to a lot of depression, regression, succession, and resentment. Not for the people around you. That's what you think it is, you know, on the surface level, but it's really resentment for yourself. Because we all have a certain level of potential that our souls, our spirit knows we can reach. And because I've always had a very active spirit, I feel like the whole reincarnation thing is apt to bring up at this time, but I'll talk about it later. I've always had a very intact spiritual essence, right? So my potential, I feel like, and this is just me, is through the fucking roof. Like, I feel like I have Prince and Michael, maybe in a little bit of what the fuck is his name? I don't even know, man. But I got a lot of people in me. You know, Jimi Hendrix. There we go. Something like that is within us all, and we have a way to tap into that. You know, sadly, the way to tap into that is connected to these horrible Pandora boxes. But it doesn't have to be. It inherently does not have to be. You can indeed find your own way, find your own soul. And you even need this damn book of knowledge, you know? Fuck that book. Fuck that book. This damn phone is just filled with dead bodies, dead souls. Oh shit, I just fucking destroyed my desk. You know, and there's no reason to take that over what is truly there for us in the world, the fulfillment, you know, the actual act of connecting, you know, and not just typing in words to argue on Twitter. Like, people really aren't like that in real life. I know especially girls aren't like that in real life. You guys realize there are a lot of girls who don't even use social media at all. 100%, you know? All of them are not on YouTube. So, I suppose if you want to connect with someone, you should probably get off the platform. But if you're like me, you probably don't want that. You probably desire a little bit more. And when you desire more, you have to go to yourself. Because nobody's going to give it to you. Nobody's coming to save you. So if you are looking for more, you don't want a surface level thing, and oftentimes if you go out and you're able to protract something very quickly, it's going to be a surface level thing. This is why I stay wary of girls who always have boyfriends. But anyways, I'm getting a little off topic. If you want more from life, you got to let go of your old self and start praying away. You got to start killing all the retarded bullshit in your life that we really don't need. And it's a lot. It's a lot. I know for me, some of the things I'm killing are actively like it's like a soulful thing where like I willingly can't get away from it. Because it does help us in some way. You know, all of our vices do. All of our vices do. They help us, they aid us, they bring us through this life, and I am so proud of you for making it here. Not only to this point in the video, but this point in life, with your vices, doing all the bad shit you do. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you're raping babies, motherfucker. You rape babies and you're not in jail. So you probably should be, but that's not the point. Okay, I don't know where I'm going with this. Whatever vice you have, man. I assure you, as long as you're not hurting anybody else, it's okay that it's gotten you through here. You know, it's okay that it's gotten you through to here. But the problem is, it hurts you. You're the person it's hurting. And, you know, for the longest time, I didn't even believe my life mattered, you know? But, I did realize that, you know, we're here for a reason. It does matter. You do have agency. So if I realize that, you got to realize it too. And notice that these vices, because they hurt yourself, you must stop. You must stop. We cannot be hurting ourselves. Sadly, God put you on here. You didn't get a choice. You ain't get no fucking choice, bitch. But God put you here to fucking slay, to annihilate, to destroy, to evaporate all evil around you. And to do that, you need the best and most capable body. You know? It sucks. It sucks. I know. And I feel like this is the main reason why a lot of guys turn to video games, because the real world doesn't give us this opportunity to get out and fucking annihilate every day. It doesn't. It doesn't. You have to make it yourself. And luckily, these video games allow us to make it fairly easily. But anyways, that was a death quest. We are a battle reaper. We are a legendary reaper. Rod master, Koopa blaster. Fuck me faster. What? Anyways, guys, we're done. Koopa out. Give it a little subscribe if you enjoyed these random rants. I like podcasting. I hope you like casting of my pod. If you like to listen to this, we're gonna do more every day at midnight, and I will see you next time.